Okay, so this somebody is looking at my bootloaders. My bootloaders load at 7C00 and then they transfer themselves up to 96C00. So the bootloaders move themselves up to the highest location possible, and then my bootloaders load the kernel. Here's the way it works. The reason I write to the master boot is because I wrote a master bootloader. I am not an amateur. I wrote my own assembler. The difference between an amateur and a professional is the professional writes your own compiler and your own assembler. That's the difference between I've been a professional since 1990 when I worked on Ticketmaster's operating system. So let's be clear, I'm God's chosen because I'm the best. So my master bootloader installs on sector 1. I think they start at 1. Now that I think about it, sector 0. No, it's sector 0. I think the CHS number's at 1 or something. Anyway, so why does my code start at 7C? Because each stage transfers itself up to 96C00 and then loads the next stage at 7C00. So you understand? So the master copies itself up to 96C00, and then it loads stage 2. And stage 2 transfers itself up to 96, or this one goes to 96A00, and then it loads stage 3, which is this is the partition. This goes on the first sector of the partition. It transfers itself up to 96C00, and then it loads the kernel.bin. So how does a white man operating system install? Well, let me show you how a white man installs his operating system. He goes to the website, downloads the file, saves it in downloads, and then since I wrote my own bootloader, it has nothing to do with grub. It's a new virtual machine. If you're doing grub, you want to chain load just like Windows used to. Grub is a big sabotage. It's a clusterfuck that's over-engineered to. Grub is not your friend. They want to make you dependent, sell your soul to. All it needs to do is load the first sector and start in real mode. That's all you need to do. Then your kernel changes to protected mode and then to long mode after it calls some BIOS routines. A white man operating system starts in real mode like Windows So we don't need sound card. We don't need network. We need you have to have 512 or more. We're going to kick it up to 5 gig. So this is, how come you can't do this? Fucking install onto hard disk. A white man operating system has a bootloader. Has a install script. Are you installing inside VMware? Yes. How hard can it be? If you're using Grub, do it with chain loading, and why don't you make my bootloader in front of Grub? Because my bootloader can boot Grub as a fallback. Watch this. So if we reboot, you see where it says old boot record? That will boot Grub. If you put my bootloader in front of Grub, you hit 0 and it'll boot Grub. So we get 1. See, this is how a white man operating system installs. Piece of cake, okay? Piece of cake. So what other questions were you asking? I wrote my own assembler. I can talk about my assembler if you like. It probably doesn't prevent illegal instructions. It's not very good. I try to minimize code. So might as well do it this way. It has to be uppercase. I'll do this in a way that doesn't blow your mind. Okay, so we wrote test. So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't give an error. Invalid instruction. Okay, push CS. Is that valid? Anyway, so if you want to, well, this is long mode. Let's look at putchar. What it does is you give it a 64-bit and it prints out 1 byte at a time and rotates. So as a matter of fact, testing, that proves it's long mode. Doesn't it prove it's long mode? Yes, it proves it's long mode. Okay, so I am the best programmer on earth, and that is why we have divine intellect. As a matter of fact, you can write a Holy C program hello world. Watch this. We can put this into here. You can mix C in assembly. It recognizes the opcodes, so you can mix C in assembly because I am the best programmer on earth. I wrote the compiler. Okay, so you can see that I'm the best programmer on earth. Unassemble function. So this is the assembly. It's not an interpreter. So don't fuck with me. If you don't understand, it's because you suck. Did you write your own compiler? Who do you think is a better programmer? A person who has written a compiler or one who has not? I thought so. Now shut the fuck up. You want to align it to XOR 0, XOR SP, comma SP. The first one will be at FFFE. I don't think you're talking to me. You must not be talking to me. But everybody talks to me. How dare you not talk to me? So let's get Mr. God. Okay, anyway.